But what happens if you have some geometry and you want to create a grid with that geometry already defined? So let's take a look into that one. So let's say you have this kind of geometry. It was defined with the regular framework, and you need to define a grid for this one. But it could take some time to just check the distance between different elements to define the grid. So we can open again our grid definition window. We can create a new grid set, and with this we can just open this grid set, right click and click on auto generate grid set. I'm going to display the grid, and as you can see, this spacing was defined according to the geometry we have already defined in our model. You can click OK, and as you can see, if I go in a top view, you can see our grid was defined following this. And you can move it to the different stories in your model with these icons, and move it whatever you want. Let's say you want to work with this specific story, so you can click here. It says work only with the object that fall into the XY plane, so we can toggle this on. And as you can see, now you can work with just these beams. Maybe try to define in a columns or something, or in any specific connection, you can work with this one. But there will be the time where maybe you want to define a grid to this, let's say, to this side of the building. And there is no option to define your grids into what could be here with the global coordinate system, the XZ plane. So for that, you can make use of the user coordinate system. This tool was explained in the angled load video, so maybe you want to take a look into that one. But shortly, you can select here the position of the global coordinate system that will be defined as a user coordinate system or a custom coordinate system. So with this one, I'm going to the 3-point method. Again, you can check the video to know a little more about different methods of defining the user coordinate system. But I want to click here, and I'm going to define this plane. And as you can see, the plane changed and also the grid got rotated. So now the top view will be this one. And as you can see, the new placement is not according to this geometry we have already. So maybe we want to create a grid for this specific view, or let's say plane. So we can go again to the grids. We can create a new grid set, and this will be sided grid. And now we open this, just left clicking, right click, and auto generate grid set. We can click OK. And now the new grid set got defined with this new geometry. Now with the sided grid defined, we can save this user coordinate system. It's going to be the sided grid. We can click OK. And now we can change between the global coordinate system and the sided grid. And as you can see, the sided grid goes with the geometry of the sided. Meanwhile, the global coordinate system remains the same. But for that, we defined the different grid sets. So now I can just navigate smoothly with this list. I'm going to the grid number 6. It was defined initially. Now I can see here the grid that goes accordingly to this geometry in the top view. And when I select the sided grid, we can see this doesn't go with top view, but if we our coordinate system, it will be with the side view. And you can also navigate with this function. Let's remember this work with the object plane. I can just click here, and we can navigate through the frames with the grids. So we already checked some of the main functions of the grids. Click again to the grid definitions window. The extend grid scope applies to the base grids. It's a little more complex and maybe needs for very specific applications. In case you may want to know more about that, you can go always to the help system, or you can also reach out to the support so we can take a look into your questions and help you out with that. So far we haven't touched about the grid origin orientation options here, nor the cylindrical grid type. But for that, we are going to work around a specific example we have over here. So we're taking a look into that one.